My first impressions of Vagabond. I just got done reading the first 112 chapters of Vagabond in like the course of 4 hours. Of course, taking breaks and stuff in between. But yeah, this video is just going to be my first impressions of the manga, just my overall thoughts of what I've read so far. Nothing too deep, not too much of a complex analysis. I'll start doing videos like that once I read everything, or well, correction, once I catch up on the entire manga and then reread it. That way I can grasp some of the different themes and stuff like that better. So yeah, this is just my overall thoughts of what I've seen so far about Vagabond and whether I think you should get into it or not. And just like Berserk, apparently it suffers from a super long hiatus, so woohoo. But from the first 112 chapters, actually correction, from the first 30 chapters alone, I must say Vagabond for Berserk fans is a must read. To start off on the most basic level, Vagabond's artwork is out of this world. It is superb and amazing. One of the things about Vagabond's art style that might give it the slight advantage, I wouldn't say over Berserk, but what does help its case for being arguably the best artwork ever, or at least from what I've seen so far, is that Vagabond is a very realistic toned manga, and it doesn't really have all of the fantasy elements that makes Berserk, you know, Berserk. Therefore, a lot of the things in Vagabond we can kind of compare to the things we see in real life. Therefore, just looking at it, it looks so real, and the attention to the scenery is absolutely phenomenal. So yeah, the artwork alone will blow you away, and the basic outline of the story is of this guy who, well, it's kind of like the fiction version of the Japanese swordsman Musashi Miyamoto. I don't want to spoil anything, but when he starts off like that, that's not his name. That's a name given to him that he uses for the rest of his life, but before that, he goes by a different name. Again, I won't spoil that for anybody who hasn't read it yet, but the growth of the character that we see of, you know, Musashi in the first 112 chapters alone is very akin to what we see Guts go through in the Black Swordsman arc and Golden Age arc on a much more realistic, less extreme raw form. And what I mean by that is that Guts in the Black Swordsman arc and Golden Age arc, we see the contrast of how he is, how he's like dark and everybody thinks he's like a monster and a demon, versus in the Golden Age arc we see him be a lot more human, and that's kind of been Guts' growth from here on out, overcoming his inner darkness while trying to find the purpose as to why he exists while swinging his sword, because that's really all he knows how to do. And even though Guts and Musashi are very different characters, the concepts and themes that these two characters go through are almost exactly the same, just in very, very different forms. And I absolutely love it. Being able to read something like Vagabond that kind of has everything I've loved about Berserk while also taking out a lot of the grotesque and sometimes over the top things that, yeah, turn me off at times, is a really, really big bonus. Honestly, it's just so good in the way it's able to convey the characters through the artwork, let alone to just see so many of the different concepts and themes that were tackled in Berserk that I love so much being tackled here in a different form, with a different art style, with different characters, with a different, just everything is so beautiful. Like, even the relationship with Guts and Casca is very similar to the one Musashi has with the one girl Otsu, just without a Griffith and some horrible eclipse ruining everything. But the real strength of Vagabond, other than its artwork and a lot of the things that it shares in common with Berserk in terms of themes, and this is something that I find not, well, I wouldn't say unique to Vagabond, but it excels in this so much, and it's something I appreciate a lot, and it's just the different philosophical themes Vagabond constantly tackles. Almost every single chapter makes you look inward, and there's always some old wise monk making you feel like you're the dumbest person in the world, which is also what the main character feels like at many times throughout the first only 112 chapters. Even in the first, again, like 20 chapters, you see the character improve so much, and it's not even in terms of just strength and fighting. But I think that's also part of the point of the whole manga so far, is that it's not just the physical strength, it's the strength within, who you are as a person, what you value. At first thinking he was so strong and nobody can defeat him, to then realize he's an idiot and ignorant and completely blind and incapable of seeing. And it really makes you question so much, because you see the main character Musashi start off as like this monster, this beast, nobody can take him down, and then a couple chapters later, he's just a speck of dust compared to all of these other amazing fighters he meets when he starts traveling the world. And it's not really some physical technique or sword style that he learns that makes him better, but if not, it's the battle of the mind. Understanding what makes you weak and what makes you strong truly. Vagabond so far has just had this giant message of just improving oneself, being a better version of you every single day. And so far it's been in contrast with his one best friend, and they've been separated, and like their entire lives have changed, and his other friend like is an imposter and he takes the name of somebody else, but he's also trying to make a name for himself. We start off with the two characters when they're around like 17, and there's like a time skip, so now they're around the age of like 22 if I'm correct. And so you just learn so much and really see the difference of what it truly means to improve versus what it is to just move forward and not really gain anything from moving forward in certain ways. It's not just about becoming quote unquote stronger, it's actually about becoming better, and it's the lessons you learn and kind of these nuggets of wisdom that makes the main character truly better. And you just feel so satisfied because it's like they don't have the need. Again, this is like warring states, feudal Japan. It's very simple compared to a lot of the other like shonen and all this other stuff, and even Berserk, which isn't a shonen but is very over the top with its, you know, enemies and fights. And I mean, Guts swings a sword that's bigger than him, and look, there's nothing wrong with that or anything, you know, that can also be done phenomenally, again, as we see with Berserk. But to see something so simple also be intricate and so complex is just, I don't even know what the word is. I think beautiful. Vagabond is beautiful. Vagabond is art. That's what I was looking for. And it's crazy because it's like something that is so philosophically deep to also still be very entertaining with the different fights, with the different techniques we see from the different swordsmen and even people like monks who use spears. It's honestly just so satisfying to read. And also another thing about Vagabond, and I don't know if I addressed it earlier, I don't believe I did, and if I did, I'm gonna expand on it a little more, and that's Vagabond really just makes you feel like you're in that world, that you're in that setting and time. You could tell the author seemed to have really done his research on what feudal Japan and ancient Japan looked like, and it's also reflected in the art style, because even though the art is great, there are moments where the art, it's like it was drawn with like a brush, and it was kind of like those old Japanese paintings you see. It just all goes so well together, and I can't wait to pick it up tomorrow and to keep reading and to start making more videos on it. But just my first impressions of Vagabond is this is phenomenal. Before I did a video on why Berserk fans should check out Goblin Slayer, that one was kind of like, if you're bored, here's something that might entertain you because I liked it. But I went into that video, I even said in that video that Goblin Slayer will not give you the same quality, it'll just give you some of the you know, theme, tone, dark stuff. But Vagabond, in terms of quality, it is up there so far, and wow, I'm honestly very happy that I picked it up, and I'm definitely going to continue reading it. I'm definitely going to start making videos on it, analysis videos, once again I read it and then reread it and all of that. So yeah, just let me know what you think about Vagabond in the comment section below. Also let me know, once I do start doing Vagabond videos, what kind of videos or what topics in specific you would like to see me tackle when it comes to Vagabond, because I'm definitely looking forward to it. As always, if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe and turn on the bell notifications. That way you're notified when a new video pops up on some of your favorite anime, manga, or whatever content. As always, this has been The Masked Man. Hope everyone has a blessed rest of the day, and peace.